So the last premium live event in the WWE calendar is done and dusted for 2025. And now, was it any good, or was the often described creative decline of WWE in 2025 continuing on? I'm Chris Apples and he's Mikey Spence, and this is the Aussie Cousins Wrestling review of Survivor Series War Games. So first off, Mikey, what were your overall thoughts of the show?
Average at best, to be honest. I think there's a few really good points.
Yeah.
But it just seemed to just cruise at one speed.
Yeah.
There was nothing, you know what I mean? Just cruise at one speed. I didn't get really too much out of it. Yeah,
Okay.
Just to me, it was a bit average.
Yeah, so it looked like a few times they were going for the big moments,
Yeah.
and there were a couple of really big moments on the show, but then also meant a lot of stuff before those moments kind of just dragged on a bit. There's some really good action, but like nothing seemed too consequential until these moments actually occurred.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of waiting around, I think, is often what happens in these War Game shows. It might be time to really rethink the way that they actually structure these shows. So the first match on the card was the Women's War Game match. And of course, that was Team Rhea Ripley with Rhea, Iyo Sky, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, and AJ Lee versus Team Becky Lynch. Of course, Becky was joined by Nia Jax, Lash Legend, and the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. Your thoughts on this one?
I thought it was good, but not spectacular.
Yeah.
Iyo Sky did her amazing traditional thing that she does every year in War Games, jumps off the top of the cage.
Yeah.
I did like the Kairi Sane moment where she got put in the trash can. They did that very well. I do think Kairi Sane actually proved herself a lot in this match. Really pushed herself higher. But apart from that, you're right, because the lead up is so monotonous and slow because they do get fatigued. They are in there for a long time. The crowd sometimes can switch off until the end. So I just think it was good, not spectacular.
Yeah, that's right. I think I liked Lash Legend's introduction into War Games. I think they made her look like a really big monster. They kind of protected her at the end with Asuka actually misting Lash Legend, and that's how it kind of led up to the end. She did that. Everyone was all like booted out the way. Nia Jax then took a lot of the brunt of everyone. And then, of course, it was Iyo Sky going up to the top, and she was given the trash can. Not quite by AJ Lee at the start. She was jumping up. It was very, very funny. And then Rhea Ripley goes, I can help you out with that. Rhea Ripley gets AJ Lee on her shoulders to give Iyo the trash can. Iyo Sky does a 4-flip, basically, essentially a swanton bomb into the crowd, where Becky Lynch managed to back herself away. And then she gets riptided and then put in the Black Widow by AJ Lee and very quickly taps out. Once again, her nemesis is on her back, almost literally once again. So I think they've got to try and cook that feud a bit more. Something has got to happen between the two of them for a singles match. Okay, moving on. We've got the Men's Intercontinental Championship match. It is John Cena versus Dominik Mysterio. I'll take this one first because I know one of your favorite wrestlers is in this match, so you'll have a bit to discuss about it. So what happened here, of course, Dominik Mysterio got caught cheating as he was trying to feign an injury, very similar to the way Penta got injured on Monday Night Raw. I thought they did that very cleverly. And while he was feigning an injury, Raquel Rodriguez Tahana bombs John Cena. Roxanne Perez gives the pop rocks to John Cena. Whoever could pick that happening, that was fantastic for the two of them. But then Chad Patton, the referee, stops Dominik Mysterio from getting the win, though John Cena probably would have kicked out after the frog splash. But a bit later, after a ref bump, the other Judgment Day members of JD McDonough and Finn Balor come in, and they get thwarted with their big moves off the top rope. A double AA to both of them. They both sold it magnificently well. And before Chad Patton could get back in the ring, Watch Me plays out through Petco Park in San Diego. Liv Morgan returns, and we have a video about her return, of course, on this channel. And she looks like she is going to not help Dominik Mysterio. In fact, she pretends to punch Dominik Mysterio. If you look at the replay, they did this very well. That she goes over the top of Dominik Mysterio's head. He pretends like he flails out very dramatically. John Cena's like, oh, okay, cool, I'm going to win this match. She gives him a hug. You know, it's the last time on the PLA. You want to give the big superstar a hug. She does the John Cena face from Elimination Chamber. Boots him in the bollocks. And then a massive title shot to John Cena from Liv Morgan. She did that real well. The 619, the frog splash, And it is a win for Dominik Mysterio. He gets his championship back. What do you think?
Yeah, it actually was. I thought it was a bit of a fun match. We all knew it wasn't going to be a serious match because that's just the way Dominik. He's obviously trying to do the Eddie Guerrero achievements, which is working really well for him. That's a hard ball and Pop Rocks. They were sensational.
Yeah.
Cena has sold them amazingly.
Yeah.
The ref bump. Yeah, that was a bit funny because he actually is in the air before the bump happens.
Yeah.
But good on him for taking it. Yeah, Balor and JD McDonough's AA. They sold that. They landed that brilliantly as well.
Yeah.
The whole thing, even the ending was done. I really like the match. I know it's more of a my type of match than a your type of match.
I'm more than happy with that,
The shenanigans were kept to a limit. I don't think they went too far. I think they held it towards again. But no, really good to see. I think it's a big push for Dom.
Yeah.
Beating Cena, to be honest. And the Liv Morgan thing is going to explode the Judgment Day into a whole new web of stories.
Yeah, and as we've discussed in our previous video about the big return of Liv Morgan coming back, we think that this is going to end up in a Liv Morgan versus Roxanne Perez feud, and hopefully a match at WrestleMania, because we need more singles feuds in the women's division at WrestleMania like we did last year with Naomi and Jade Cargill. And the third match on the card was the Women's World Championship match between Stephanie Vaquer and Nikki Bella. After a pretty spirited and actually hard-hitting match between the two of them, Stephanie manages to get on top on the outside, rolls Nikki Bella onto the announce table, the steel announce table, apparently by a call by Michael Cole. Not sure it's steel.
I don't think it's steel.
But anyway, she does the devil's kiss on the announce table. Really good the way they did that. It's the first time she's done it on an announce table. She's done it on the apron before.
Yeah.
Brings it back in the ring. Another devil's kiss in the ring. That beautiful corkscrew moonsault through the air lands it absolutely wonderfully on Nikki Bella, and Stephanie Vaquer retains her championship.
Yeah, I thought this was good. Actually, better than what I was expecting. I thought Nikki did really well to keep the same level as Stephanie. Stephanie obviously carried the match, which was always going to happen. The devil's kiss is quite synonymous now. It's quite a cult sort of move. It's quite funny. And that corkscrew moonsault, my God, that is just poetry in motion. Yeah, that's amazing.
It's one of those where, like, it's probably not a PLE level match, but it's one of those where you've got the shenanigans of John Cena and Dominik Mysterio beforehand. You've got a War Games match coming up. It's actually quite a nice break from that kind of thing, just to have a regular match where Stephanie Vaquer carried the hell out of Nikki Bella. Look, Nikki Bella was fine in the match, but she's obviously probably past her actual wrestling prime, and now she's there to put on a show. Stephanie Vaquer just showed that she is just about the leader of the division at this point in time, I think. And just before we get into the men's War Game match, just remember, if you love what we do here at Aussie Cousins Wrestling, please make sure you hit that subscribe button as we almost creep our way to 1,000 subscribers. Like the video to help this video soar into the YouTube atmosphere. And of course, leave a comment down below and let us know what your thoughts on Survivor Series were. I know there's a lot of negative thoughts out there. There's a few positive thoughts out there. We want to see them all, and we'll respond to them all as well. Okay, now to the men's War Game match. And of course, this was Team Good Guys, I guess. Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, and the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, versus Team Vision of Brock Lesnar, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, Bron Breakker, and Bronson Reed. So with the Good Guys on top, they have a pin broken up, and then all of a sudden a hoodied figure, Triple H's favorite trope, I think, throughout his entire career of booking, scurries up the cage and back down, and then super kicks a very confused CM Punk, and then stomps Punk's head into the mat, followed by a super spear by Bron Breakker to CM Punk. The hooded figure very, very, very quickly scuttles back up the cage and then back down again. And it is the Team Vision who end up getting the win.
To me, it was a lot of nothing before the War Games actually started, and then even then, not a lot until the end bit where the hooded person came out. I mean, obviously a lot of thoughts, a lot of people saying it's Chris Jericho, Austin Theory, but no one really knows, to be honest. I think it couldn't be Chris Jericho. It just didn't look like his physique, to be honest. Couldn't be Seth Rollins still, because everyone knows he's generally still injured and coming back. But yeah, I think this was actually worse than the Women's War Games. I don't think it was a lot. There was a lot of just normal one-on-one interactions in the match, and that's really all there was.
And like they tried to do the whole, change it up with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns meeting each other on the outside, and Brock Lesnar doing that huge F5 through the table to Roman Reigns. But like Roman Reigns was back in it, not very long afterwards. Like that should have just about put Roman Reigns out for quite a while.
That's right. And everyone gets done that. They usually are out for ages on Brock Lesnar. So
but then But then the issue with that is that they would then have to actually start the official match like much later. So like he had to like quickly get back in the ring so the match could actually start. Yeah. So I think the actual kind of way they structure these War Games matches, it's got to change. It's got to be some way that like during the lead up to it, you can get eliminated or something like that. Like kind of mash it up between the traditional Survivor Series elimination matches and a War Games match that, you know, the advantage becomes a huge advantage because if you are the one who's by themselves with two people, you can get eliminated by these guys and you're out.
That's right, yeah. I do think people are starting to lose interest in it as well. It's been 3 years in a row now and it's quite numbing until or 5v5 in and you're like, it only lasts for 10 minutes after that too. It's a lot of waiting for 10 minutes of...
I think it was the right decision having the heels win. I think it's the last 2 years it's been entirely face wins. And in the women's War Games matches, there's never been a heel team win. That needs to change. I think that probably should have changed in this one. But of course, when Becky Lynch and AJ Lee came into it, then it started to become more about their storyline together. So AJ was probably going to get the win.
I mean, Michael Cole let everyone know about 20 times it was the faces who won the men's every single minute.
Yeah.
Which is quite funny.
That's right. Yeah, something's got to change, I think, for next year. Even if they just have a year off of the War Games, do what they used to do, have, you know, brand versus brand, the champion versus champion, that kind of thing. Something's probably got to change for it, or just completely change the format so it actually makes it more exciting for the first, 20 or 30 minutes before they get going again.
Very boring.
All right, so here at Aussie Cousins Wrestling, we do the Wrestling Predictions League, and of course, this is the second last PLE of the year that we have for it. The next one being Deadline NXT. Speaking about a new match type that's actually fantastic to watch. That is Iron Survivor coming up at Deadline. Looking so forward to that one. But in our league, we both got 2 picks right for this event, which means that I go up to 90 for the year and Mikey is on 89 for the year. Unbelievable. We're going right down to the wire with Deadline next week. Literal deadline for us in the Wrestling Predictions League. Can Mikey get a 2-point advantage in that one to take the win? Could he tie it up? And then it's almost pointless that we even did it in the first place. It is fantastic to watch for that. So let us know in the comments down below what you thought of Survivor Series War Games. Make sure you subscribe to that channel so you help us boys here at Aussie Cousins Wrestling thrive. Like their video so it gets sent out to more people and click on the video on the screen right now. It'll be the big returns happening for 2026 and of course, one was even sooner.